How do you divide a whole number by a fraction? Keisha has 4 chocolate bars. She offered each of her friends half of a bar. So, here are her 4 chocolate bars. She offered each of her friends half of a bar. So she started with 4 bars. She's dividing it into halves. So C is how you write it in an expression. But how can we solve this? So we know we started with 4 whole bars. As you notice, we cut each one into 2 parts. So we're multiplying by 2 and the answer equals 8. How can we do that? So we are multiplying by its reciprocal. You keep the 4, you multiply, and what is the reciprocal of 1/2? The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1 or 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. Again, what is reciprocal? Reciprocal is what you multiply to get the value of 1. Or most people will say, oh, reciprocal is the flipping of the numerator with the denominator. That's how you do it, but it's not the definition. Mrs. Flower has 8 yards of ribbon. She wants to make bows for holiday wreath. She needs 2/5 of a yard for each bow. So if I cut each bow into 5 parts, that means she needs this one and this one to make a bow. So in other words, she started with 8 bows and she's dividing it into groups of 2/5. So she's taking 2/5 for each bow. So it's C. But how can I answer this? So we have 8. We start off with 8 bows. We are multiplying by 5 halves. So we keep the 8. We multiply by its reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of 2/5? 5 halves. So how can I rewrite 8 as a whole, in fraction form, 8 over 1? So if I multiply the numerators, I get 40. And I multiply the denominators, I get 2. So the answer will be 20. She can make 20 bows. So there are 20 groups of 2/5. So if you add 2/5 over and over and over 20 times, you will get 8 wholes. So how many groups of 2/5 go into 8? 20. So again, reciprocal is when you multiply, it's the value multiplied to get 1. So reciprocal of 4, 1 is 1/4. The reciprocal of 6 is 1/6. The reciprocal of 1 and 2/3, that's 5/3. Reverse the numerator with denominator is 3/5. Another way to write 1 and 3/4 as an improper fraction is 7/4. Flip it around, 4/7. So Mr. Joe spent 4 hours on his date with Lucy Liu. Every 4/5 hour, she got a phone call. So here she got a phone call. How many times did she receive a phone call? So every 4/5 hour. So how many groups of 4/5 go into 4? So 4 hours of dividing into groups of 4/5. How many groups of 4/5 go into 4? How can I rewrite this as an equivalent multiplication expression? I keep the 4, I turn the division to a multiplying, and I do the reciprocal of 4/5, which is 5/4. So rewrite the 4 as a fraction form. You get 20 over 4. So she receives 5 phone calls during my date. Because I'm so exciting. So a neighborhood development that is 6 acre is to be divided into 2/3 acres lot. So I want to know how many 2/3 go into 6 acres. If you want, I could draw 6 circles and find how many 2/3 go in here. Or I can use fraction bars to find how many 2/3 go into 6. But I'm not. So I'm going to rewrite this as a multiplication. So 6 times, I keep the 6, I turn the division to an equivalent multiplication spread time. And what's the reciprocal of 2/3? 3 halves. So how do I turn the 6 into a fraction form? put a 1. So 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. 18 half is 9. There are 9 groups of 2/3 and 6. So rewrite each one as multiplication. So 8 times the reciprocal of 5 half. Rewrite this in as a fraction form. So it's 42 over 2 or 20. How many groups of 2/5 go into 8? 20 groups. So this is how you how you divide a whole number by a fraction. You multiply by its reciprocal.